quotient of powers rule. This rule applies when we are taking the quotient, meaning dividing powers. Just like with the product rule, we can only use the quotient rule when we are taking a quotient of powers with the same base. So same base is super, super important. A to the m divided by a to the n. The rule here is when we are dividing powers with the same base, we can subtract the exponents. This is something that, again, if you get confused, you can still go ahead and expand out x times x times x times x times x, that's x to the fifth, over x squared. And then you see how many copies of 1, x divided by x divided by x, you can cross out. That means x to the fifth divided by x squared leaves you with just x to the third. So you see how many of your bases remain. 9 to the 7th, over 9 to the 3rd. I can cross out 3 pairs. 9 divided by 9 is 1, 9 divided by 9 is 1, 9 divided by 9 is 1. That leaves me with 9 to the 4th, which I do not know what that value is. Whatever 81 times 81 is would go right there. No value for 8 to the 3rd. Again, different bases. That would be w times w times w times w times w times w, divided by u, divided by u, divided by u, divided by u. Well, I guess I shouldn't say it like that. 6 w's divided by u times u times u times u. I can't cross out any of those pairs. W divided by u does not equal 1. So w to the 6th divided by u to the 4th is just simplified as the original expression. When we have numbers involved, we are going to think about those as fractions that we simplify. 9 times y to the 6th over y squared. That 9 will just stay in the numerator. Y to the 6th divided by y squared. I can use that quotient rule subtracting. 6 minus 2 is 4. If there is a number in the denominator, just leave it in the denominator. Really common for students to just try to magically move it up. So this is like 1/6. Keep that in the denominator. G to the 6th divided by g. Use that quotient rule. 6 minus 1 is g to the 5th. These should have had lines. So again, think of it as simplifying a fraction. Divide the top and the bottom by 2. That leaves me with 5. I need to write those 2's there. Dividing the top and the bottom by 2, that leaves me with a 5. And then I use the quotient rule. 8 minus 3 is p to the 5th. Simplify this, dividing by 3, dividing by 3. Now I have 1/4 or 4 in the denominator. U to the 15th divided by u to the 7th is u to the 15 minus 7, which is u to the 8th. And again, that 4 needs to stay in the denominator. It is not equivalent to 4 u to the 8th. If it makes more sense to you, you can write u to the 8th as 1/4 u to the 8th. But I think generally this is the more straightforward version. Here we could have written 1/6 g to the 5th, but I think keeping that 6 there is again more straightforward.